We are SQUAWKING Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes of the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we bring you news, sometimes we make you laugh, most times we go deep. I'm CosmoMom09, Rachel B, and with me, of course, is Sharon D, Blazy Gardner. Guys, we have a really special guest with us today. You know her as Annie on Fear the Walking Dead, Bailey Gavulic. Thanks so much for being here, Bailey.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yes. I just have to say, it was such a pleasure getting to meet you at the camp in May, and we got to kind of just sit there and chat with you for a while, and it was just really, really, really nice. It was great just kind of talking.
Yes,
it was great.
I loved it. It was my first time doing a convention, so it was my first time really getting to interact with fans in that way that are like, they like know the show. It's not my dad being like, what do you do? It's like people who are like, yes, this is so cool. I'm like, we love it. And so like, it's just really like, oh, makes your heart squeeze.
I want to thank you for being in my birthday video, for one thing. That was so fun. It was so cute. I loved it. It was awesome. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
I had so much fun doing it. I was like, okay, I need to do this. And I don't want to just like say happy birthday. So I was like, okay, Megan's my roommate. And I was like, Megan, we're going to do this thing. And I'm just going to need you to make like some zombie noises, which she was very excited to do because she told me time and time again how much she just wants to be a walker on the show, just once. So I was like, okay, you're just going to make the zombie sound effects and I'm going to like, shoot a few times and we'll just do this happy birthday video really quick. And it was so fun.
Thank you for being part of my birthday video, too. That was so special. So sweet.
I love doing that stuff. I was like, absolutely. It sounds like so much fun.
You and I actually had an interaction on Instagram as well. Last year was it last year? Who knows? Time. Last year when Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 started, I believe. I think this was. I remember I was running late to a recording session. We were about to record our next Fear the Walking Dead coverage. And I'm trying to move my car. It's New York City. I'm never going to make it back in time. I'm waiting to move my car because I'm seeing a spot and I'm looking at my Instagram. I'm like, oh, okay, there's a little giveaway thing here. Okay, well, let's do this thing. Bailey's having a giveaway. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Later on, I find out just me just tooling around with my car and then finally making it back and doing the recording. Like, I find out that I win your giveaway. And it was the Camp Cackleberry t-shirt design that you had made. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, look at that. Yes.
And, I told you I couldn't decide what to wear, so they're all nearby.
The Camp Cackleberry Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 magnet and sticker, and then even a nice handwritten note, which I actually have right in front of me right now, actually. And it's because I just moved. It was on a poster behind us as we record, and then so we're moving around. So I said, let me put this near my desk, and I'll figure that out later. But as long as it's near my desk, okay, I'm in the zone. We know what we're doing while we're recording. We have all our Fear swag. We have your Camp Cackleberry magnet right above me, actually. And it's just kind of a nice thing to have around while we record and remembering the Fear family as it is. So thank you for that. Yeah. It was a really, really cool thing. Did you ever end up doing anything with any of those designs?
No, like really, my cousin, she's in like fashion design. So she helped me make the artwork for the t-shirt. But for the artwork for the magnets and the stickers, I did those while we were still shooting season 5. I was like, I brought my laptop the one day and I was like in hair and makeup and I was like working with limited equipment. But yeah, so they just kind of exist. I love designing things in that sense. So it was just really fun for me to do. And I was like, I want this shirt and I'm just going to make it a giveaway. So
there you go.
I think you should do more of those. They're so cool. The shirt's really comfortable and the swag is just the quality of the swag is so good. It really is, and I thank you for that.
You're so welcome. Maybe the next time I go to a convention, I'll be like, merchandise.
There you go. There you go.
Yes. We need more Fear merch.
Right.
Yeah. I get it all the time. People are like, she's on The Walking Dead. And I was like, Fear the Walking Dead.
That's right.
You got to come correct.
There is a difference. Thank you.
Get it right.
You recently did Shakespeare in the Park.
Yes.
What roles did you play? Roles did you play?
Okay, so it was so fun because the play is called The Complete Works of William Shakespeare Abridged. So the whole premise is that we're doing all 37 of Shakespeare's plays in one play.
Ooh.
So
whoa.
It's a comedy. It's like we do lots of like skits and spoofs. And it's one of my favorite plays. My high school did it when I was in high school. And so when I saw that it was going on, I auditioned for it. And it was supposed to happen in 2020. Wonder why it didn't.
Mm.
And so, yeah, it finally just happened last weekend. So I play, all of Act 2 is just Hamlet. So I played Hamlet. We rap Othello. I did Titus Andronicus as Titus as a cooking segment. I played different roles in Romeo and Juliet. Not Juliet, obviously. That would have been too much of a giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a variety of different things. I'm trying to think. We do all the comedies, all of Shakespeare's comedies get rewritten into one comedy, and I kind of serve as the narrator in that. So it's just a huge hurricane of controlled chaos, but it's such a fun show, and everyone who saw it really, really enjoyed it. So it felt so fun getting back on stage.
Which did you enjoy playing the most?
I really love the Othello rap. Because I love like freestyle rap and stuff like that, like musical improv. And so I just find it so funny that it was just like the story of Othello in like a minute. Boop, that's it.
Nice.
You would have enjoyed one of the other people who contributed to my birthday was Aiden Atkin, and he did his a Fear the Walking Dead version of American Pie.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. It is hilarious. Yeah.
I can't hear the song
I know.
without singing Aiden's lyrics now.
Okay. So I'll tell you guys, when season 5 was airing and I was doing the ukulele bits, there was a week where I was like, I'm going to venture out and do something differently. And I was going to rewrite a song that exists. And it was going to be like, everyone knows it. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fear the Walking Dead.
Mambo number 5. That's Mambo number 5.
Mambo number 5. And it was going to be like, a little bit of strand. Anyway, but I got very busy and I was like, we'll just go back to ukulele.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we got to finish that now.
Yeah, get a couple of episodes deep in season 7, be like, yeah, a little bit of strand, maybe not a little bit of strand.
Maybe
I
not.
don't know.
Maybe a little
A
less.
little less strand in my life.
So, Bailey, what made you want to get into acting in the first place?
Okay, so when I was in elementary school in 3rd grade, my elementary school started a drama club after school, and I auditioned and I played like elf number 2 in this. I don't even remember the name of the first Christmas show we did, but it was a Christmas show because it was fall, and it was just so fun that I never stopped. So like I stayed in drama club through elementary school, and then in middle school I did it, and then in high school I did theater, and meanwhile like I started trying to figure out how to do other forms of acting, so middle school I had an agent and I was going out for commercials. In high school I started with my acting coach in Florida, and she's great, and I had a television and film agent in Florida, and so I was like auditioning for TV and movies, and that was really fun, and it's just always been the thing that like brings me so much joy, and I really love it that I'm like, I can't do anything else. Like,
Yeah.
my teachers at school were very disappointed because I'm a very good student.
Oh.
Like a straight A student. So like my science teacher, I remember one year was like, so what do you want to do? And I was like, I'm going to be an actor. And he was like, okay. Because I did like a really nerdy thing for like a year or two and competed on like our science Olympiad team where like you go and compete in science events.
Yep. My brother did Science Olympiad. Yeah.
Nerds
Yeah.
unite.
That's right.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to be an actor. And they were like, okay. And I was like, yep, that's it.
Was it difficult? I mean, obviously you're a very good student. So how did you balance the acting and school life at the same time?
I had some sick days. That's the only time I skipped school. Like this, my mom tried to do the responsible thing and be like, how can we handle this? This is what happens sometimes when she needs to miss. And they were just like, she needs to be in school as much as possible. And we were like, that's not helpful.
That's not.
Because also my school was like, unless you had an excused absence, you weren't allowed to make up what you missed. So like,
Oh.
Wow.
if you missed homework
Wow.
or a test and it wasn't excused, like, sorry. Like, so I was like, well, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
I really don't know how I did it. I like being busy and like juggling things, but in high school, I was obviously a good student. I was very involved in extracurriculars. So I did theater, and I did our morning news show, which I ran my senior year, and I did student council where we planned all these events. So yeah, it was like having all these things that I loved, but like acting always came first. So it was like, oh, if something comes up, that stuff gets shifted and acting goes first. So,
Priorities. Yeah.
yes, priorities are so
Good for
important.
you.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy the auditioning process?
Yes, it's changed a little bit over the course of the last year. I think it's very fun. Okay, so being from the Southeast, when you're auditioning in the Southeast, 9 times out of 10, you are getting just the audition sides to work with. So one thing I love about being in LA and having LA reps is like, I'm getting the full script pretty frequently. So I get to read the whole project. And so just getting to read these things is like so exciting because you read it and you're like, oh, this is going to be really good. This is like, I really like this script. Whereas sometimes before it was just like, I don't really understand what's going on here, but I'm going to give it my best. So it's really fun to like, put on different hats really quickly. Again, in the Southeast, all you do is self-tapes. There are no in-the-room auditions really. So moving out here, I was very excited for in the room. And now with everything going on, everything's virtual again. But I'm like, good thing I am already used to doing self-tapes. So yeah, I actually booked Fear from a self-tape.
Oh
wow.
my gosh.
Cool. Yeah.
I filmed it in somebody's garage.
When you auditioned for Fear, what did you audition with?
Okay. I feel like this is fair. It was fake sides between Annie, Max, and Dylan that kind of represent like their sibling relationship and like what was going on. And I know other people have auditioned with fake sides because you sign a little NDA and you're like, I will not tell anyone. And I was like, okay. But yeah, it was a fake sides. There were some similarities to the sides with like things that ended up being in the show. Like, I don't know, like some of the lines where it's like, oh, that's what people always say when there's something to be afraid of. I think was like one of the lines in it. But yeah, and so it's just the one scene and then you film it, you send it off, and normally you just like, as an actor, you try your best to like, well, I'm never going to think about this again because I'll drive myself crazy.
Right.
So, yeah, and then my agent called and it was so interesting because I had another audition out at the same time that they had sent me callback sides for. So when I saw she was calling, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be about that. Like, and she was like, you're the choice. And I was like, great. And she was like, for Fear. And I was like, what? That one came out of the blue. Yeah, so then I got approved by the network and I started the planning process of, getting to Austin for when we were going to shoot. Because I think I auditioned in early November and I had to be out there like by the end of November. So
wow. It happens really fast then.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes things move so fast. Like it's kind of weird now because sometimes things get pushed back so much with people still dealing with pandemic stuff. But either things move very fast or very slow. There is like, I feel like no in between. So I've had auditions before where my agent had called me and she was like, hey, like you're one of the top choices. If you book it, you're going to need to be on a plane tonight to Virginia. And I was like, great, let me know.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy. It's got to be exciting too, though, right? I mean, hopefully it's mostly exciting instead of stressful.
Honestly, it's so terrible. I'm conditioned like a Pavlov dog in the sense that my mom, because obviously I started this when I was younger, so she was involved, and we would both get the emails because I was a minor, and she had set a specific ringtone for anything that came from my agent. And so even now to this day, like I still use it on my phone and I hear that noise and I'm like, yes, like what is it?
I totally understand that.
Yeah. I'm like,
That's awesome.
check my phone. Being an actor, you'll check your email like 20 times a day. Like just in case something comes in.
So once you have the role, how do you approach sort of becoming that character?
I feel like it kind of depends. So like for Fear, it was a matter of, okay, so for the first episode, I didn't get the whole script. So I was just given my chunks of the script. And I remember showing up the first day and I was like, so excited. And Mikey, Ian, and Andrew, they pulled me aside and they were talking to me and they said, hey, we need to let you know something. And I was like, okay, like, cool. Because obviously in the first episode, there's the stuff where we drive up and we see the blockades with like the walker guts and everything. And so like, spoiler alert, that's you. And I was like, oh. And they were like, now we don't want you to play it like you know that because we don't want people to know that yet, but we want you to know that so you can be thinking. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So it was like very cool. And it was just so cool to think of because then, I was doing those scenes where it's like, do you know who did this? And it was like, no. it's me. Yeah. But I think just like breaking down a script is very important, using as much as you have. Everyone on Fear is so lovely in the sense that they're very, between like the directors and the writers for each episode, they're very hands-on and like helpful in getting the performance that they think is going to work best for the episode. And so I think that's such an important element because they're going to know things that I might not know.
From our perspective, we're not going to know everything about film craft and everything. So when a director says, hey, can you try it this way? You may be directed in a way that you may not be aware is important later. Is that accurate?
There's going to be things that we might not be subject to know because maybe the size of the role, or maybe just like it's a very highly anticipated production or something like that. You know, you can do as much work as you want on it and you need to come ready to rock. But if they're sending you in a certain direction and you're like, I didn't think of that. If it's like, okay, this is for a reason, 9 times out of 10. Like sometimes it's like, let's just try this one. But usually it's because I feel like it's helping tell the story in the way that it's going to fit best into the overall season, for example.
You have worked on feature-length films and Fear. What are some of the differences between working on those two types of productions?
For me, in my experience, it was the pace. So the one feature-length film that I really love that I've done is At the End of the Day. And we filmed that in like 28 days, which is crazy fast.
Wow.
Especially because it was like, I think like a SAG ULB like project in Lakeland, Florida. And I was a supporting role, so I only worked like 3 days or something, but they were constantly going. So with that, it kind of depends. But I've been a stand-in on like a Hallmark movie before on a cruise ship, which was very fun. And that was like a faster paced one as well. But typically from what I hear is that television moves quicker in the sense that one episode of Fear is usually done in like 7 to 10 days from my experience. And so, because they're turning over and they're doing the next episode. Whereas sometimes with like films, like think of any sort of Marvel movie, like those sequences are going to take days to shoot one fight sequence. So yeah, it just depends on like the details, I guess, of the project and how long, but kind of sets the tone for how quickly you got to move, because sometimes you'll get 2 takes. It moves pretty quickly.
Where can we watch At the End of the Day?
Ooh, I believe it's on Amazon Prime.
Nice.
I
have that. I can check that out.
I believe it is. I know they have their information on their Instagram, but it is a very wonderful, moving story about the intersectionality, I guess, that you can find between religion and like the LGBTQ community.
Oh,
okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So it's like in a very positive light. And
Nice.
I feel like it's something that is a very good message, and like finding how those things can kind of overlap.
Yeah,
That sounds
wow,
good.
I really
Yeah.
like that.
Now, I don't play the most fun character, but she fits into the bigger picture of the story. These people who have a limited worldview, okay?
Yeah.
Now I want to watch this more.
Acting. That's what acting is.
Yes,
That's
I
right. So what was maybe one or some of the most fun moments you've had on the Fear set?
There were a few scenes in episode 1 where I'm actually driving. Like, I am driving the van. And it's very fun in retrospect. I was very stressed doing it because, like, the scene where we pull up to the blockade, they were like, yep, you're actually going to drive and you're going to need to hit this mark. And we did it the first time and they were like, you hit the mark. And I was like, yes. And they were like, can you drive in a little faster? Like you were actually driving. I was like, yes, but do you understand? I have very precious cargo here. I've got a whole van full of all the series regulars. I was like, if anything happens to Alicia Dednam Carey while I'm driving,
Oh.
I can't handle that.
Oh my gosh.
So that was so funny to me. I loved filming episode 3, the little scene where they reveal it's us. Because I don't know if they used that shot, but we filmed a shot where I literally carve into this like zombie abdomen and I like am reaching out and they were behind like off camera fishing the intestines through, and I was like and in the moment a little stressed because I was like, I feel like we only get 1 take for this. Yeah, I feel like that was really fun. I loved when we got all our camper kiddos. They were so precious, very sweet. And I felt so cool. I was like, this is my posse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
I don't know. I have so many memories from like each episode that were so fun. Like I remember working on 513, whichever the first one that Virginia came in. I was just the whole time because I was so impressed by Colby. I was like, she's so cool.
Oh,
I was
she's
like,
awesome.
she's so cool. And then obviously like 506 is one of my favorites. 507 was so beautiful with the treehouse. They're all good. 504 was my first like close interaction with a zombie in like a life-threatening moment. And I feel like I mentioned that story in an AMC interview, but like I literally forgot my lines. I was like,
Oh no.
what happens is like they like the guts snap, they grab me, I get tackled, and like Ethan's supposed to pull me out, and like there was supposed to be like a my gun, and he's like leave it, and then like we go on. And when I tell you, like, when it happened, because we rehearsed it, and we rehearsed it slow, and then we went to do it, and in the moment, I was just like, I'm going to die. Like, my director came over, and she's like, that was great. And I was like, yes. And she goes, the lines? And I was like, yes. I was like, we'll be there this time. So.
Lines? You want me to say lines? I'm fighting for my life, and you want me to say lines?
Well, it's so funny because, you know, before they're sitting there, they're normal, they're just like chilling in their zombie makeup, and then it's like rolling, and then they're like snapping and reaching and growling, and I was like, this is how I go.
They were smoking cigarettes just earlier, just having to smoke.
They get like, cups of coffee, you know, and like I know at one point they were pouring like some of the stuff in their mouth, and I was like, what is that? Like, oh, it tastes like Thin Mints, I think. And I was like,
oh,
sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have it; it'll stay in your mouth. And I was like, well,
it's okay.
Worth it. Worth it.
Yeah.
My only excuse for butting is to embarrass Alani, who's in the audience. There's a little chat on the side, and she says, Bailey, you are incredible, and I loved meeting you back in May, which is the camp. But she has a question. Out of all of those, would you say, do you have a favorite episode that you filmed of your time on set? And if there is one that you can't say, you can say that. There's one I can't say.
I will say, I'll probably put it at a tie. Oh, also, when we were talking about fun moments, filming the plane crash, so fun. Not everyone agreed that it was a fun time, but I did not feel motion sickness, so I had a fun time. I think my favorites would either be 501, just for it being the first, and, you know, it had so many, like, little good moments that were really setting up everything else, or 506. I loved getting that moment. I remember, like, getting that script and reading it and being like, oh my gosh, like, we're really finding out about them, and like I'm being trusted to tell this part of their story, and it was just really fun. And I remember that day on set was very special because it was just me and Alicia, and everyone was so kind and supportive, and like it was just a very good environment. And I was like, and like afterwards the writer and director came up to me and they were like, that was great. And I was like, I feel like I just did that, you know, like I did that. So those two are probably my favorites. But I love them all.
Awesome.
So.
Right? Yeah. How do you pick a favorite?
I don't know because they all have so many cool things.
Bailey, I have to know if you can tell us if you know what went into Annie's crazy hairstyle that she had when we first met her.
Poor Annie. So I show up day one. I go to hair and makeup. I'm one of the first people there. I'm like meeting everybody. And I remember they were talking about it and they were like, we just want it to look. I was sitting there. I was like, yes, this is all great. And they were like, you know, we're going to make it big. We're going to make it like a Maine. Like, you know, you've been living in the woods, very like feral and like crazy. And I was like, wonderful. And then the lady who was doing my hair that day, Roxy, she just started creating this look with, you know, teasing the different sections and then like rolling it with stuff and then the dirt getting on top. Because the thing is like I'm naturally very blonde. And I do not look very blonde throughout 98% of the show. Like I know there's the one episode where we're at Tanktown and my hair looks brunette, like is how much dirt and like has been put into this look. But it was so funny because when the season 5 trailer came out and like it started airing and things like that, I got so many messages from like fans or from people in my life who were like, your wig looked so good. And I was like, so much. It was my hair.
Yeah.
Like, That's the crazy thing is like 99% of it is all my hair. There was a few pieces that were like clip-ins that were cut shorter, so it would look like breakage
Okay.
or like we tried to cut it and it would like poke out. But like also I'm just the kind of person where I was like, oh, like that's so cool. I would have let you cut my hair anyway. Like yeah, it was very fun. It was a lot of work. It took like at least 40 minutes most days. And so we got to the point where we would strategize and we'd be like, okay, am I coming back tomorrow to film again? And it was like, if yes, then we're just leaving it.
There you go.
I was texting my mom. I was like, I look so cool. Look at my hair. How am I going to wash this out at the end of the day? And they were so kind and they like took it all out for me and made sure it was like in
nice.
order, which was so nice. I was not expecting that. I thought I was going to be like at home, like having to slowly work through it. And yeah, so then we decided if it's coming back the next day, we're just going to leave it. And I was like, I love that idea. When we wrapped the mid-season finale, because it was an overnight, I was so tired that like I just left my hair because I didn't have dreads anymore. I just had dirt.
Yeah.
I got back to the hotel at like 8 a.m. and I needed to leave by like 9:30 or something for my flight. So I was like, I can either wash it out or take a nap. And I was like, I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to the airport looking like this.
Yep.
You can't hear me.
Naps always win.
I'm laughing hysterically behind here, but I'm muted. It's probably the funniest interview I've ever sat through. It's just dirt.
I don't know
Now
what
I'm
my hotel room thought. Like,
now I'm picturing Bailey walking through the airport with Annie's hair.
I tried to like put a bandana over it, but like my mom does hair, so we have like a little hair setup at my house. So like when I flew home, I was like, Mom, and so like she helped me wash it out, and it was like almost like green, like it was just so much.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Can I follow up here for a second? Have you ever? Well, I mean, obviously you did some comedic theater, but have you ever thought about doing comedy or doing anything in that realm, or shtick, or sketch comedy, or anything like that? Or do you have anything like that?
Love comedy. When I get asked what I want to work on next, I really want to do a comedy. I just find so much joy in it. I did some training throughout the past year at UCB, which is like
that's
for
awesome.
improv.
Yeah,
and it was so fun. And
they're great.
Honestly, I love it. Like the play I just did was a comedy, so getting to have people like laugh and like enjoy it is something that I love. But yeah, I would love to do more stuff like that. I have been told I could do stand-up, but it kind of scares me. So like maybe I just need to like not tell anyone I'm doing it and go do it somewhere like an hour away.
That's the move. Yeah.
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 There you go.
It's the move. I'm telling you right now. Just don't tell anybody you're doing it though. Yeah, but
like see how it goes and then tell people.
Right.
No, you gotta like warm up. You gotta work out the issues.
yeah,
you know?
exactly. It's the timing that you have that made me laugh the most. Like when you were just regaling us.
I want to go back to a couple minutes ago. You were talking about shooting, and I want shooting the gun, and I wanted to know what kind of weapons training did you go through?
So I read that script and I said, okay. Okay, so yeah, I feel like I handle a gun twice. So in 501, I handle the shotgun, but I don't use it. And when we were shooting that scene, we come outside the van and everything, and we see the roadblock, and like I've got this gun, and someone came over to give it to me, and like I was standing on set because I was like, I do not want anyone to assume I know what it looks like to hold this properly. So like, like Lenny was so nice and he was helping me, and then we had Eddie, who's like our like weapons guy, come over, and he like kind of showed me, but I was like, I don't know, what do I do here? And then in 507 with the handgun, the day of, Eddie like pulled me aside and we did some weapons training, and like, he told me how to like hold it. Like, I know your thumb goes here. I haven't done it in a second with that. But yeah, and so I shot a few, and then, it was just such an interesting process because everyone has to wear earplugs. So whenever that's happening and a gun's firing, everyone has little earplugs in that you can't see. And and then I shoot zombies. Like it was a speedy training. It was quick, to the point.
In the Walking Dead universe, everybody has a different name for zombies. What would you call zombies in the apocalypse?
Scary. Because I was like, well, Annie calls them growlers, but like, I don't know. I literally just my roommate and I, we send each other like funny things we see on social media. And this guy that we think is so funny, he just did one where it was like a zombie movie, but like no one uses the word zombies, and it was making fun of that.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. With Johnny Virtual, it was so funny. I was like, I feel personally attacked by this. Because, you know, he's like the brainless or the undead or the so-and-so. And it's like, we just never say zombies.
His father-in-law.
Yeah. So I feel like, I don't know, based on like Annie, I would probably just go with growlers, or I like empties.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you?
Well, like, there's nothing going on there.
Yeah.
The walkers, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that would be the last thing on my mind. I would be like focused on survival much more.
Run away.
Like whatever we want to call them, we can come up with a name later. I would just like to be away from them.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. What would you call them? Well, dish it, you got to take it.
Eaters.
Eaters. Okay.
Yeah. Ever since The Walking Dead, I have called them walkers. Like, it's weird to hear the word zombie now. I'm like, zombie?
I would just call them
walkers.
zombies, I guess. They're zombies, people. They're zombies.
They are. Like, we should just call them for what they are.
I love that word has not been said on any of the shows, though. Like, they make a point not to use the Z word.
Yeah. Even though it's like, oh, the zombie show or the zombie movie.
Alani is saying crispy critters.
That's Dakota.
Dakota's a crispy critter.
Yes,
In the wind.
And what a wind it is.
In the episode In Dreams, we get to see a future version of Max, but not Annie or Dylan. So where do you think Annie and Dylan are in Grace's imagined future?
Yes. I was like, at that moment, I was like, that's so cool. Annie's too much of a leader. Like, Annie's out scouting things. You know, I feel like in this imagined future, we're part of the team. And so she's either out there, like, handling a situation or, like, helping her people, because she's very much, like, group oriented. Like, these, like, especially with the kids. Like, she's like, these are my responsibility. And maybe Max just, like, had a crush on Charlie, so that's why he stayed. Who knows?
Alicia's not in that episode either, so maybe Annie and Alicia are off fighting something.
Yeah, like, we really sorted through our differences, you know?
Yeah.
Our differences.
It's been a long time.
We're so similar that it was like, I think that was the funniest thing to me, was Alicia being like, let me help you, and me being like, no. And I feel like in a way it's just like a mirror to so many different parts of Alicia. Obviously not so much now, but like especially in earlier seasons when, you know, they had their safe place and it got ruined and things like that, and lacking parental figures and all of that. So it's like in a different parallel, Annie is representative of different things that have impacted Alicia, and is also being severed and like, no, I don't want your help, I'm fine.
I like that a lot.
Why didn't
I like that a lot?
I'm not fine. My camp is overrun with zombies right now, but I'm fine.
Why didn't we say that?
I'm fine.
Right? I have a fan question. This is from Donnie at Daryl's Moonshine, at Daryl's.moonshine. This kind of comes off the question we just asked. How do you think Annie's story would be different if she wasn't saved by our group?
Very morbid. I feel like she, in the effort to protect her group, would have somehow put them in danger or not adequately protected them. And I felt like there would have been some loss, and I think that would really have hardened her even more, because she would have felt responsible.
Another parallel to Alicia.
She finally sucks it up and is like, okay, like, I guess we'll go. I guess this is a good time to leave.
Another fan question. This is from Linda, who is
Hi, Linda.
at fanart_Lindy.
Yes.
If Annie had been bitten on the show, which characters would she want the rest of the kids to go with?
Well, first of all,
Excuse me.
I thought you were going to say, which of the kids would she have eaten?
Wait. Yes, that question next.
I feel like...
Oh my god. I almost spit water all over my camera.
Well, I don't know where it was going.
I'm gonna quote Rachel here. Look at Dylan's cheeks. I could just cut into them right there. It's a famous clip from when we got canceled. Yep.
Oh my
I
God.
did say that. Oh my my gosh.
I feel like she would probably trust Alicia and Morgan to figure it out. I feel like even though she doesn't spend a lot of screen time with Morgan, I really loved my scenes with Lenny, and I felt like there was like this unspoken like I respect you that Annie kind of had. But I feel like, oh my gosh. Well, I don't know. It kind of depends. Like, are we talking like right now, like end of season 6? Because obviously, like some answers would have been like Dylan could go with June, but I feel like June's going through some things right now, so I don't know about that anymore. So yeah, I feel like she would just be like, oh no, like no one's gonna do as good of a job as me. But I feel like she would be like, okay, Alicia and Morgan will figure it out, and June. I really do think Dylan and June had a beautiful moments together. So I think that would have been a very good pair. And then I think obviously Ethan Max would have stuck with Dylan. So that would be like, okay, so then Max and Dylan can go with June. And then all my other 8 to 10 lovely campers at any given moment we'll come up with like a zombie apocalypse adoption agency.
Oh, I got fostering, yeah.
Yeah.
We can
Oh,
rotate.
I love it.
You know, it'll be like we'll all raise them together. So
It takes a village.
That's right.
Okay, now which one would you eat first? Burr, 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 burr.
who's closest to when it happened? Who's slowest?
That
There
only,
you go.
I mean, you would know better than us, I think.
Cooper would be like, I'm super fast, but I feel like I could take him. So, I feel like Max is very smart. He'd be like, I'm out. So, I feel like it would be Cooper Dylan, unfortunately, or it would be we had a girl named Sage for a while who was one of our campers, and she was so sweet, but she was smaller. So I feel like everyone was like, "Oh no, let's run!" Like Sage would, she might not be as fast. Like,
Short legs.
zombies gotta eat, you know.
That's right.
They
It's
do.
feeding time. Okay, we have another fan question. This is from David C. at comicbookboy24_. Could you see Annie and Charlie becoming friends?
Absolutely. I think that would be so fun. Obviously, Dakota was right in that age range too, but we all know like Dakota had her own issues. Annie also having her own issues. I feel like hers are not as much of a red flag. I really think they could. I think it might take a minute because again, I think they're very independent and they are, young adults looking to be treated like adults. So I feel like it would be a friendship that comes out of like mutual respect and like needing each other for survival. But I also just feel like they could be besties. So
Yeah, Sharon and I were talking about it kind of before too, and we were saying how it would be nice for Charlie and Annie to have a friend, an actual friend, and not someone that they felt responsible for.
Yes,
Just
and someone around
Yeah.
their age. Like I think it would just be really nice to see almost like a quick like respite from everything that's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
You feel a little normal.
It could still happen.
yeah, absolutely.
You never know.
Never know. We have another fan question from Tyler, is at Tyler Phillip Cox. He also has a podcast called Let's Talk About the Dead. Which actor from the Walking Dead universe would you like to have a scene with?
Tyler. Well, I got my scene with Alicia. So. Honestly, that would have been like high on my list. I would just want it to be with a villain. Virginia's not an option, sorry, but like I would have loved that. I think she did such a good job, or like Annie and like being in a situation with someone where it's like I'm going to stand up to you, even though like there's obviously like a power imbalance to like Strand right now and everything going on. I'd want it to be with a villain, or I'd want it to be with Grace, but that's just because I love Karen. I feel like Karen would be, again, an unspoken like guardian for these kids because very nurturing. Like, I love Karen. I've had brunch at her house. Like, she takes very good care of me.
Aww. So I wonder what would happen if Annie ran into Alpha.
Sorry. I unmuted by accident. For the audio podcast, Annie's eyes just went wide. Or, sorry, Bailey's.
Bailey's eyes.
Also Annie's.
Same eyes. Honestly, any sort of situation is just, it would be so funny to see it play out. Yeah. And I know I like pulled the chat up now because I'm like curious, and I know like it was like, oh, don't send the kids to Carol, and I'm like, I think I could take it. I think I might sacrifice myself in the process, but I feel like I would be like, not my
Yes.
brother.
Rachel and I we've been talking about rules to surviving in the apocalypse, and one of them is don't be one of Carol's kids.
Yeah. Yep. It's on the list of
Yeah.
rules.
The other one is don't be Sherry's horse.
Yep.
You can't trust
Don't-
anybody.
Don't be Rick's girlfriend.
All right.
Don't be friends with Morgan.
True. True.
Yep, that's another one.
Got the clap back. Nice.
And this is from AJ at AJGram17. What weapon from the Walking Dead universe would you want to use in the apocalypse?
My answer is not a weapon so much as it is a vehicle.
Ooh.
That van, I thought it was so cool. I love that how in 501 she literally just like seeing how they filmed that was so fun for me. I have like a video somewhere where it was like seeing them hooked up, like the walkers, to this little like pulley system that they were like, and then all of a sudden it was like 3, 2, 1, and it like pulled them from their chest. So like,
oh wow,
edited together, and like that's how you obviously see it because we didn't run them over. But no, I just love that idea of being like in your van and like plowing through people. So.
Hey, that's a good weapon.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean,
those could be
it
weapons.
is kind of tricky. It's not the most practical in the sense that like what happens when you run out of gas. But like I was very attached to it. I thought it was so cool. It's literally my laptop background, and like that's why I'm like I was like, I want something that's like boom Annie, and I was like van, definitely the van. So
We actually asked about the van in the trivia. We have trivia tournaments, and one of the questions was, what is the logo on the van? And the person we asked actually got it right. I was surprised. They paid attention. They got it right.
After so many times we asked that question too. Nobody, except, and then I have to come in and so, guys, it's Camp Cackleberry. Okay, guys. Come on.
it's got like the little like
Chicken in the teepee.
oh, yeah, it's
In
like
the
this
egg.
little-
in an egg.
Yeah.
A
Sweet.
chicken in
I
an egg in a teepee.
cried. I sobbed when I got this. So that
Oh.
was like the Christmas gift from season 5, and I was like,
Oh, cool.
that's my logo. That's mine. And it was so sweet because like they like had like a little card, and it was like in my dressing room when I came back, and I was like,
Oh.
I'm emotional. So
Aw, that is so sweet, though.
yeah.
This damn production. So goddamn sweet.
Earlier, you said that you'd be interested in doing like a comedy role. But are there any other types of roles that you would be interested in playing that you haven't had the opportunity?
Yes. My list is like I want to do a comedy. I love comedies. We're watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine right now. I'm obsessed. Nine-Nine. It's so good. It's so good.
It is.
But a comedy, I want to do something where I have powers. Whether it's hero or villain, I will let them decide.
Yes.
But I want to have powers. I think it would just be so fun and like getting to see that come together. And then I want to do something like period piece because I love period pieces. I love like Dickinson. I love Bridgerton. I love Anne with an E. But something like that, or something where it's like this could also be like the period element, but like royalty. Like I want to like wear like a ball gown and a tiara. Yeah,
Super fancy dressed
that's
up.
like my list right now.
What advice would you give to young actors?
Take class. Find a good class that pushes you to be a better actor and a better person, and then get really good because it's very hard and there are going to be so many things that you can't control. You can't control whether or not you're going to get the part. You can't control whether or not, you're going to do your audition and they're going to watch it and be like, oh, I don't think she's right for it. She doesn't have the right look. She doesn't have the right energy. I can't control that, but I can control what I deliver, and I can make sure that it's really good. I've read so many like different actor articles and interviews where it's like, if you stop focusing on, I want to book the job, and just being like, I want to do a really dang good job, be the best in the room, then it's like everything else will work out, because even if you don't get it, like you're going to end up in situations where people are going to be impressed by your work and your work ethic. And it's really, I know some people don't train. There's going to be people like that. But like, unless you are one of those people, you have to. Like, we equate it to like Olympic athletes. Olympic athletes are born with natural talent, but they still train. They still work
hard.
and they work really, really hard to like improve. And so you just gotta you've gotta get good, however you're going to do it, and then you have to be really confident and like trust in yourself because, like I said, you're gonna hear a lot of no's. Like I heard a lot of no's before I booked this, and it was like you can't take it personally. And you have to like take care of your mental health, like whatever that means for you.
That's great advice.
Great advice.
Don't give up. Like if it's something you want to do, I've had someone ask me before where they were like, okay, but like how long are you gonna do this? Like how like if nothing comes from it, which like not that it will because like you're good, but like like for how long are you gonna do this until you would do something else? And I was like, it's just this for me because that's what I love. Like, and I'm not saying like I wouldn't like have like a side hustle and like do things to like support myself, but like this will always be what I want to pursue. It's just how it works.
There is nothing else for you.
I also came up with another answer. I want to do a project where I work with a dolphin. I love dolphins. They're my favorite. I only say that because I was thinking like when I was younger, I was like, I'm going to be a dolphin trainer.
I've never, ever met a dolphin in my life.
I cry every time I see them.
Aww.
Like, I love them. I think they're so precious. For my 22nd birthday during COVID, like when it was, because, my birthday's in April, people were still very like intense. So for 2020, it was like, we did some stuff at home, and then I was like, I want to watch the new Disney dolphin documentary. It was fun.
It's awesome.
Hey,
yes, celebrate your birthday exactly what you want to do.
That's
I love
right.
it.
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's my advice, and that's my favorite animal, if you're wondering.
I recommend whale watching.
Is this ASMR?
Yes. Because the whales do ASMR. It goes. This is my dolphins. Okay, everybody. This is my dolphins.
I understand. Everyone has their dolphins.
I had a moment my first time, and it just stuck with me, and here we are. Enjoy, everybody.
Hey, you committed. You really committed to the bit. I respect it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm disappointed the camera was off, so I didn't get to see you get close to like the mic and do it.
And see the mouth actually do the. Yeah, no, you don't need that.
I can see it. I can
Yeah,
see what's happening up in my head. I know what's
pretty awful, actually. Anyway, there you go.
So, Bailey, are there any weird food combinations that you really enjoy that people kind of are like, what the heck are you thinking?
Okay, this is controversial, but I like pineapple on pizza.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
See, there you
Shots
go.
fired.
Yes.
Shots fired.
I
like pineapple on pizza.
I'm a New Yorker, and I approve this message.
People are like, it doesn't belong there, and I'm like, there are weirder toppings than pineapple. Like
Agreed.
like
Definitely. Yeah.
so people. A friend had me recently try artichoke hearts. I don't know what he was thinking. Don't know why anyone eats them. But I know sometimes people put artichokes on pizza. Why are we even eating artichokes? I don't get it.
At first I thought we were friends.
Well, if you have them on pizza, there's enough other stuff to mask the flavor of the artichokes if you're eating it on pizza.
And you can do artichoke pizza wrong. It can be terrible. And
Yes, by putting the artichoke on. That's
you're
My
not.
woman to say pineapple on pizza, and she texted me and was like, "No, not in this house. Get out." She does not think it belongs on pizza.
Do you do the ham and pineapple or just straight pineapple?
I prefer it with chicken and pineapple.
Ooh.
Oh.
Barbecue
look at
chicken
that.
and
Okay.
pineapple. That might be
Yeah,
interesting.
now that is
Now you
good.
may have crossed the line.
No, that is good. That's really good. I've
I
had that.
have drizzled barbecue sauce. I also like dipping it in ranch.
That
I have yet to do that.
I do that.
I don't always do it, but sometimes I'm in the mood and I dip my pizza in ranch. So if that's a weird combination, so be it.
Yeah.
No, I do the pizza in ranch. I'm with you there.
Yeah, or if it's Papa John's, the garlic sauce.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel like weird food combinations. I don't know. Megan, do I eat anything weird? Imagine she'll text me if she heard that.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, what? Oh, she doesn't like over easy eggs. I like over easy eggs. That's not a weird thing.
Ooh.
People eat them.
Mm-hmm.
She says they're raw eggs, but they're not.
I'll
They're
take my
just
eggs
runny. Yeah.
any which way.
Over
I made
the-
Nutella French toast this morning, so
Ooh. Now that's
That sounds good.
dang. Stop talking about food.
Very hungry.
oh yeah, you guys are hungry.
Aiden is going to be very disappointed that your answer wasn't green beans and ketchup.
Ugh, right?
my family, they eat some weird things, but like I don't.
I-
They do like
I worked in a restaurant, and I had somebody in a restaurant order grits with ketchup in them, and I had another person that would eat garlic bread with grape jelly on it. Yeah.
Thanks.
That's blasphemy. How dare they
It was so
ruin
gross.
garlic like that?
What movie or TV quotes do you use on a regular basis?
I love quoting like different like shows that I like a lot. So I feel like I quote Brooklyn Nine-Nine, cool, 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 things like that. Okay, one of my favorite movies of all time is The Goonies. And when I was younger and I saw it the first time, like when I was in elementary school, I learned all of like Chunk's monologue, and like I just whip that one out sometimes. You know, when like he's like, "Okay, I'll tell you everything." Like that one, I just feel like I consume so much, like not in like I have a problem way, but like it's like research. It's like homework for me. I watch like a lot of like TV and movies, so like I don't know, like I love Ted Lasso, and so like I talk about that a lot right now. But
Yes. Football is
football
life.
is life.
I have another fan question from Charlotte at Under the
Hi,
Feather.
Charlotte.
She wants to know, what are your favorite songs to play on the ukulele?
My favorite thing to do with my ukulele is just freestyle. Like I really do love musical improv, and so there's been nights with like my friends here where whether it's I'm on the ukulele or someone's on guitar or something, they'll just like go and then I'll just go. And so like the one night, for example, was so fun because of like my 5 friends sitting in the room. I went through and like we wrote a song. I performed a song for them that I made up on the spot about each of them. And like the guy I had playing guitar, like he would just like when we would finish, we would like come up, like he would just start a different style, and I was like, okay, like this is the style of this song. So I really love stuff like that. But one of my favorites, like which was the first thing I learned, was like the lava song from the Disney short, where it's like, I have a dream, I hope will come true. You're here with me, and I'm here with you. I think that one's so cute. So
Hi.
yeah.
Hi.
I love Ocean Eyes, playing that by Billie Eilish on you.
What's the scariest thing you've ever done?
I lied to my parents once when I was in high school, and then I cried about it.
That was so fast.
Hi.
I know.
Sorry,
A big lie.
Scary, worst thing I've ever done. It stressed me out. I went to Six Flags this year, and I rode some of those coasters. They're pretty intense, but I love roller coasters. I don't know. Am I boring?
Not at all. Was it scary moving to LA?
No, I'm so excited.
So you look at something that maybe something that might scare most people. It sounds like you look at it as an adventure and an opportunity rather than letting it scare you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably
awesome.
really true, because it's also like I'm thinking scary and I'm like, okay, well, like self-inflicted, like scary. Like I chose to like go on this roller coaster. I mean, like I've been on Hollywood Boulevard at night by myself. Like that's scary.
That's pretty scary.
That's pretty scary.
Like, but I was fine. Nothing happened. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know. Like I want to like scuba dive. My uncle, he's done like lots of things like jump out of planes and then like swim with sharks and rock climbing. I've gone rock climbing before, like, but pretty safe rock climbing, you know, but still. I went to a rock climbing gym out here, and that did kind of scare me because I was like, what if I break a bone?
Ooh. Yeah.
When we were filming Fear, we took one day, Colby, Mo, and we went to a rodeo, and I rode like the mechanical bull. I don't know if you guys have seen that footage.
I saw those pictures. I saw some of those pictures. Mo put them up.
Footage, I was the only one who rode the bull, and as soon as it started, in my head I was like, what am I? This is a terrible idea. What if I get hurt? We film in like 2 days. Like,
oh gosh,
that was a little stressful. Like I'm going to die.
That's going in the blog.
Awesome.
So actually, springboarding off of this question, do you find yourself in moments of even after having so long filming with Fear, let's say, do you find yourself sometimes in moments like being intimidated by certain actors or scenes that may overwhelm you? Have you ever found yourself in those situations?
I feel like I don't get so much intimidated where it's like anxious, but like good anxious energy. Like I'm ready. Like let's go. Now, obviously, there's been situations where like I've met people and I'm like, oh my god, like cool. Like they're.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, we all do. We all have it. Like my agency out here, they represent this actor who I think is very attractive. And 2020, before everything went, they had a New Year's party. And me and my friends went. And I was like, oh my God, do you think he'll be there? And they were like, no, he's way too big of a deal to be there. And I was like, whatever. And so we're there and everything. And Megan was like, okay, Bailey, don't freak out. And I was like, yes, I just wanted to meet him. I told my agent that, and I was like, and she was like, I'm pretty sure he has a girlfriend, but like, I'll introduce you. I was like, and then you have to be like cool, you know, like you want people to think you're cool. I don't know why, like, but I was like, oh, Lincoln, so you play it like, you know, like cool. And, like, it's just so hard because I feel like we need to find a way that we can be like, I'm a fan of your work without people just being like, oh, okay, like let me put you in a separate box. Because like I meet people and I'm like, I watch you on TV. Yeah. So I met someone once and like she was just a very big name on a set and she was like, oh, I'm so and so, and I was like, I know. I was like, well, that's what came out of my mouth and we're sticking to it. So.
Oh my God.
At Walker Stalker, I met Jenna and I was just talking to her, you know, just chatting away, and all of a sudden my brain went, hey, you're talking to Jenna, and it was just like, whoop,
yeah, and you're like,
whoop, never mind, gotta go, talk to you later, bye.
I honestly, and being on set, there were such an amazing group of people, so it was just like, I fangirl the most probably over Karen and Mo. Obviously, Alicia's amazing, but I am obsessed. One of my favorite shows is Gallivant, which Karen was on.
Oh.
And when I realized that, I was like, what was that like? Like, can you tell me about that? And then
For the audio podcast,
Inside your vibrating.
can't even explain the face.
And then one of my other favorite, like, because one of my favorite shows is Parks and Rec, and Mo obviously recurred on Parks and Rec, and so I was like, so tell me about that. And she was like, oh my gosh, it was the best time, like, so cool. And so, like, those were just things that I genuinely loved and watched, and, like, getting to even just have conversation with them was like, this is so cool.
Pinch me, is this real?
And it's like, it's so funny, because, like, you know, next time I see Karen, she did a lot of, like, her tea chats and everything that I've watched throughout the course of last year. She's done some with the cast of like her friends from Gallivant, where they like reveal that like, oh look, like I have this little thing from set, and I'm like, oh, can I hold it? So I want to hold it. So yeah, honestly, that's one of my favorite shows. If you haven't Gallivant, go watch Gallivant. It's a musical comedy. It's so funny. They make fun of themselves as a show, and I think that's very fun to do.
I love when shows and people in general have that kind of humor, when they can make fun of themselves. That's
like they make a joke that they're like, how did we get a second season? Like, we don't know. It's very like self-aware comedy, and it's so funny.
Alani actually asks, had you watched The Walking Dead prior to joining Fear?
Ooh.
And she wants you to go to the camp.
I haven't. I hadn't. I feel like I might have seen like clips of it because my cousin had watched it, but I had never like sat down and watched it. So I watched the pilot for Fear before I did my audition, and then I was like, this is kind of cool. So like I watched a few more episodes, and then like I found out I booked it, and I was like, well, I'm going to be a good student, so I just kept chugging through, and I caught all the way up. So I was like, that way, if anyone wants to talk to me about anything, I stay in the loop. I stay in the loop now, considering the fact that I don't have cable. So
Oh, wow.
I rely on y'all and people who post like episodes on YouTube. I like go and I'm like, okay, what happened this week? Like I need to know.
Yeah. Well, Squawking Dead breaks down all the episodes. We give you all you need to know and more.
There's so many fun personalities. I watched some like reactions and stuff when season 5 was coming out, and it was like so funny. Like there was this one person who she's like Irish, and she was like talking about 506, and it was like, oh, who is Annie to call the shots? The effing leader of the Brady Bunch? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. Because also, like, you know, they like Annie has some difficult moments, so watching people's reactions, being like, no, and I was like, give her a chance. Like, she's well-rounded.
I just want to ask you what your earrings are.
Oh, these are Sugar Fix by Target, Bobble Bear, I think, and they are witch's earrings, and they're very fun.
They're so cute.
That is cute. I thought it would look like a witch's hat. Yeah.
That's what I thought too, but I thought it was pumpkins under it.
Very detailed witches.
Ooh.
I feel like if I had like
Those are
cool
pretty.
zombie
Are
statement
really
earrings, I would have worn those, but I don't.
Oh, I like those.
Maybe I'll design that next.
So we're going to do a speed round. All right. We're going to give you 2 choices, and then you just go with your gut instinct, this or that. Cake or pie?
Cake. I really love cake.
Or mountains?
Peach.
Phone or tablet?
Tablet. I like drawing on it.
There you go. There you go. Coffee or tea?
Water.
There you go. Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram. I'm going to pick Twitter.
There you go. Oh, wow. Okay. Morning or evening?
Morning.
Morning.
Maybe. Or afternoon.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'm definitely not a morning person, so anything after that, I'm good.
But I like getting things done
same.
in the morning, so it's hard.
Ted Lasso or Lead Tasso?
Ted Lasso.
Ketchup or mustard?
Ketchup.
Hot dog or hamburger?
Hamburger.
June or Virginia?
Virginia.
Oh.
He's so cool. He's such a good boy.
I feel it.
Virginia was a good bad guy.
As long as it's not Dakota.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't drink tea. I used to have a tea addiction, so I don't drink it anymore. I really just drink water.
Oh, wow.
Well, I drank sweet tea. Iced tea. So it was a little different. I'm from South, so yeah.
Yeah, you're from Orlando?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm from Jacksonville.
Ooh, Duval!
Duval! Go Jaguars! What?
Yes.
Bailey, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for giving us your time. We really appreciate you just sitting down chatting with us. I really feel like we know you a little bit better. We know Annie better now. It was just really awesome to have you here. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
And we know you cannot say anything, but we hope we get to see Annie again.
That is so
We hope.
sweet.
We are hoping, wishing, praying that we see Annie and the rest of the kids again. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Team
We know they're
Annie,
out there somewhere. They are out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Team Annie.
They're
Yes.
You may not know where, but
They're hiding in the caverns with Ranger Samuels and Skidmark and Wendell. They're all hiding in the caverns.
love that.
Yeah, that's where they are. Underground, safe.
That's what we came up with anyway.
You guys are so kind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Aw. Everybody else, you can catch Bailey in season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead as Annie. You can stream that right now on Hulu. Right now. Go do it. And as you heard earlier, you can find her movie At the End of the Day on Amazon Prime. So go check that out too. Good positive message.
Yes. Two
Thanks
very
for being
different
here.
projects.
Is there anything we need to look out for on the horizon with you?
Honestly, y'all will be the first to know.
Yes.
I'm just
Awesome.
out here doing my best and working again. So I'll
wish you
keep you
nothing
posted.
but luck.
We've got auditions out.
We are here to support
Thank
you.
you.
Yep.
Gotta-
We're here to support you, whatever
we'll
you
see
do.
what's next, Hopefully something really fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bailey.